Alright, Chef Bourdain. Today is our first day in the project. I'm actually getting a little ahead of time for, I guess, what's deep prep, rather than just your deep prep. So we're making stock. I have my assistant of Nathan who's working the camera. And of course there's Assistant Chef Bourdain right here, who will be our taster-in-chief. This is my mise en place, such as it is. But I have all the ingredients I need. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make some dark veal stock, which I'll reduce down to a demi-glace and set aside for every other recipe where you say it needs it. And I'm also, because I need chicken bones to make chicken stock, I'm going to make my first recipe from your Leal recipe book ever, which is the poulet rôti. And I have done unkind things to this chicken here. And I suppose I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. And if anybody in this room should be embarrassed about unkind things they've done to the chicken, it's the jackass working the camera there, who, well, I mean, that chicken has everything happened to it. And you can see it all on ikillit.com. So that's it. I'm about ready to roast the vegetables. The veal shanks, or bones rather, are already in the oven. And I'll have a couple of little bits. So I got about as far as chopping onions before I decided that breaking into the red wine was a good idea. But it's in the book, Tony, so you can't give me shit, alright? Here are the veal bones after they've come up. They're not black, they're brown. There's still a little bit of red in there, but I think that's because there's more meat on them than they're supposed to be. But that's okay because I have Assistant Chef Bourdain to help me take out any extra meat scraps that I have. The vegetables are caramelizing now, and then I'll get the stock simmering, and while that's going, I'm going to get the poulet rôti going. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not... Okay, Tony, it's about an hour later. You notice I've stopped calling you Chef Bourdain. I'm most of the way through a bottle of Beaujolais, which was going to be to go with the veal with the demi-glace. One thing that your book does not say is how long to roast the veal bones and the vegetables. It just says until they're nice and caramelized. Well, those motherfuckers have been there for like an hour now, and they're still just kind of sweating. And since it takes 8 to 10 hours to get the stock reduced adequately, and it's now 2:30, unless I want to stay up until midnight, I gotta get this shit on. So it might not be right, but I'm driving on. So one thing that your book does not say is how long to roast the vegetables and the veal bones. So, come on, man. On the other hand, I've been sitting around bullshitting and drinking wine, so it's not like, it wasn't like getting raped by dick wolves. So, yep, I'm moving on. Okay, so I got my veal bones and uncaramelized vegetables in the stock pot. I have some thyme that I just pulled out of the garden and some bay leaves that come from my fiance's parents' house yard. They have a bay tree. And here are some Zanzibar black peppercorns that a friend of mine brought back from Zanzibar while he was doing some charity work. So I feel like in terms of ingredients, I'm really doing well here. I just feel like I probably fucked up with the non-caramelized vegetables. So if this all just goes tits up, I'm actually going to blame you rather than my own incompetence, the lack of caramelization. But I'm sure that the results will be at least somewhat credible, and Assistant Chef Bourdain will probably believe me. So here I go. Now I'm going to fill it with cold water and put it on the hob for 8 to 10 hours. Okay, Chef Bourdain, I'm moving on to poulet rôti, or roast chicken, which from here on out I'm going to call roast chicken. You very emphatically told me not to rip the skin. I've got a tiny little rip of the skin, so I hope it doesn't go any further. The next thing you've told me is to lay on the floor with on my back and draw my knees up to my chest. So, in the interest of following all your instructions, I am going to do exactly that. Assistant Chef Bourdain will supervise. Okay, so now, I tuck my knees up into my chest. And Assistant Chef Bourdain thinks I'm chicken. So, I'm not sure what I learned from that, but it's done. So I guess I'm supposed to, what? I don't know. I make a hole and poke this leg in the hole, but it sort of seems like the chicken's just doing that naturally. So So what do? I guess I'm going to put a hole right there. I'll try it. I got a pretty sharp knife here. I make a small hole. There you go. And a similar small hole on the other side. Boop. I think that one went through all the way through. Okay. Now I poke the leg through. Right? No, it didn't go all the way through. Okay. Come on, chicky, chicky, chicky. See, this is tough, man. This is why you went to school. Oh, there we go. There's a hole. Okay. Is that right? Okay, the leg, she goes through like so. Aha! I think I'm onto something here. I've never done this before, so this is a new technique. Alright, now... Okay, look, there it is. So, is this what I looked like while I was laying on the ground? The only way to be sure would be to have Assistant Chef Bourdain to lick the wrist of the chicken. Here, your Assistant Chef Bourdain, you want to take a lick? What do you think? Ah, psych. I'm not going that far. Okay, so next, I guess. All right, Tony, we're on to the part that calls for more wine. So this is going to be a salubrious afternoon. I've got my chicken with herb butter jammed up under its skin, with its cavity very rudely stuffed with all manner of things. Something that can be said of some other people in the room later tonight. Oh yeah. He's frowning, in case you can't see it from your side. I've got a roasting pan with half the onion and the giblets, and I'm going to put the bird on top of said onion and giblets. And I cover it in how much?
Half a cup.
Half a cup white wine. See, the onion's kind of making it do weird things. I don't know how to put it on top of that exactly. It's like nestled around it, like it's like you're my buddy, onion. Which I guess is true of chicken. All right, so I'm going to cut because opening bottles of wine is pretty boring. But I'm going to put the half cup in. Right, so Assistant Chef Bourdain and I are about to baste the chicken after 30 minutes in at 375 degrees. And then I'm going to jack it up to 475 for the rest of the time, for another 45 minutes. So let's see what we got here. Let's see how it looks. Where's my pot holder? See, look, my mise en place. It's all fucked up. What did I do with my pot holders? Oh, they're there. Ah. Okay. We got a nice kind of golden looking chicken going on here. Can you see that? Looks pretty pretty, though the skin's kind of translucent, and the butter, the herb butter that I put in there is looking a little weird. But I'm sure it'll be delicious. Unfortunately, I guess it didn't really spread around enough. Here's this onion just sitting there, the buddy onion. All right, basted. So I'll set that aside to baste later. Now I jack up the temp. Wait 25 minutes. Okay, Chef Bourdain, Nathan and I have put away basically 2 bottles of wine, but left just enough to finish off the giblets and gravy. Here you can see the poulet rôti, roast chicken, and I gotta say, it looks beautiful. I've made plenty of roast chickens in the past, but the color of the skin and the, yeah, it really looks great. I'm looking forward to this. It still has very rude things protruding from its cavities, but we'll fix that, I guess. So now I've got the giblets and the onion that was in the thing, and nothing in your recipe said chop the onion, so this is just a freaking half an onion, you know? I got a cup of white wine, which I'll throw in here, and that's probably going to stop it from boiling. And at this point, I'm just deglazing the pan and adding some thyme and butter, and that's it for the gravy, which is odd, because normally I would have thought there'd be some flour or something. But so now I'm going to remove the giblets, which are going to go to Assistant Chef Bourdain. Let's get him out here because I feel like his enjoyment, as well as your enjoyment, is an important part of the process. Assistant Chef Bourdain, report! Blank. His real name's Blank. He doesn't really recognize his new title yet. Oh, he's outside. That's why he's not coming. Because I've about a bottle and a half of wine. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to give the dog giblets and I'll tell you all about it. In the meantime, I'm making gravy. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. Okay, I've deglazed the pan. The wine is in the broth. And I realized I made two mistakes, not just that Assistant Chef Bourdain was outside, but also that I was supposed to leave the giblets in until the wine was reduced by half. And we're just about there by now. So now is the point at which Assistant Chef Bourdain gets to eat the giblets. And he is, as you can see, very excited at the prospect. So I think that we passed the taste test in the first place. Alright, so here we go. Let's have it. Alright, here, dude. Giblets. Yummy giblets. You in? Too hot? What's up? I don't know. This is not a vote of confidence, Tony. Assistant Chef Bourdain is not particularly impressed. Come on, dude. Too hot. Too hot, I think. Or just not good. I don't know. We'll see. Oh! Oh! Yeah, he's in. Okay. Need to cool down a little, I think. So we're good. I'll pull this onion out. This is the buddy onion. This is not the anal onion. Buddy onion. And now I add the butter and the thyme. And no flour, which is odd. But hey, listen, it's your cookbook. I'm doing what you say. So we'll try that. That's right. And this is just thyme, or parsley rather. Oh shit, I think I just put parsley in, not thyme. No, it was supposed to be parsley. Never mind. See, again, the frequent recommendation to enjoy the wine when you're cooking is, I don't have the years of experience that you do, Tony, so it's not working out so well for me. And here we go. Alright, this is it. So now I'm going to serve this in a goose book and we're going to eat. Well, once my fiance gets back. Alright, well, we're done. Food is ready. Looks beautiful. We'll check back in. Alright, so here's the finished project. It turns out that my fiance is off at a baby shower and won't be back in time, so we're just going to go ahead and eat. There's the breast. It looks nice and moist. It sure smells beautiful. Wow, yeah, look at that. And I did not tear the freaking skin, so the skin looks really good. I'm not very good at carving chickens, it turns out. I don't have the secret skill.
Would you take a big bite there and show us what you think?
All right, I'll do that. The juice is fantastic, by the way. All right. Man, that is really good. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. So far, we're looking good. But this was low-hanging fruit, so we'll see. Bon appetit.